Okay. Alright. Oh. Hang on. Alright, so. Alright, so. Okay. Hey guys. I just got back from one of the best community theater shows I've ever seen. If you guys are more interested in hearing more about it after I go and explain it a bit, and this is kind of like a review to some degree. Now I know you guys probably won't be able to come see this particular play. Some of you, most of you probably won't. But if you're in the greater Northeast Ohio, Cleveland area, and you're interested in having something fun to do, go see Mama Moon. So, and that show is at, hang on, okay, yeah, no, people are messaging me and blowing me up, but yeah, no, I'm gonna look on his timeline real quick. So my good friend, Chris Bizzum, he was in Mama Moon, and, it was a very, very good play, very intense, emotional play, and it takes you in all kinds of directions. Like, you'll be laughing and be like, yeah, I've been there. And then, other times you'll be like, crying, like, oh god, I've been there, and I didn't like the fact that I was there. But, no, it's just a great play. Okay, the answer, try. So, okay, let's see. So, Ensemble Theater in Cleveland Heights, okay? And yeah, it's a great show. So if you guys are in that area and would like to see something good, I urge you to go see Mama Moon. And, you know, check out all the other great actors that I know aside from me and just sitting at home watching my channel. Even though I know you guys love me. But so yeah, there's this great play that, and the writing is superb. The acting is superb. Especially from James Rankin, who plays Keith Moon so well. His portrayal of the character, it's so bombastic and spot on, and I can totally believe that. Yeah, he's definitely embodying all of those traits very well. And Jesus, you know, there's so many good actors in this play. Nikki Romo plays Mama Cass so well, and I love her. I love everything she does. I've seen quite a few things she's in, and I love everything she does. And I love everything James does. And I love everything you do too, Chris. So I'm not leaving you out. I think every single one of you did an amazing, superb job, and you played the most hilarious, quirky Brit I've ever seen you play. Like, it felt almost as if, like, and he is a comic actor, correct? Who you're playing? I think, yeah. He's like a British comic. But it feels so much like you're channeling a little, I want to say a little bit of Monty Python. So, like, that makes sense for your character, though, I think, because in British comic, I mean, come on. But, no, you did a really great job. Everybody was fun and quirky, and It was hilarious. But then there was also moments that were very intensely emotional, and I found myself breaking down in tears because not only is it's not just like a powerful thing that's going on or that's taking place in the show, and I won't spoil too much for you guys because I think you kind of sort of know, and it's not 100% historically accurate. It's just kind of loosely based off of Mama Cass and Keith Moon's lives and the lifestyles that they were sort of wrapped up in, and just the natural humor and turmoil and heartbreak that comes out of life in general, and what's it all kind of mean in the bigger picture of things, and does it mean anything? Like, you'll end up at the end of the show thinking to yourself like, well, damn. But no, I mean, the reason why it affected me so much, I think, is because I'm not gonna name names because his business is nobody else's business. I'm not gonna go into detail. But an ex of mine, and if you know me personally, you already know who this person is. But an ex of mine, he had some severe coke and alcohol issues, and I mean, that's kind of what Keith Moon was doing for a bit, and then he tried to get clean. He was getting clean, and he took too many of his medication that was supposed to help him get off alcohol, and it drove him crazy. So, sometimes the doctors aren't always right, or sometimes we overdo it with our medications because we're trying to substitute medication with the addiction. And a medication to treat an addiction is not a good idea. Like, why would you give somebody more medication when you know they've abused drugs before? It doesn't make sense to me. And this is exactly how so many people die, and so many people just they can't get out of this addict cycle. And none of it's really their fault 100%. I mean, yeah, they chose to do that, but I don't think they would have had they had known 100%. And nobody knows 100% how bad and awful something is until they're in that place. Like, we grow up hearing all these horror stories, like, oh, it's so bad, oh, it's so bad, oh, it's so bad. You're going to become addicted immediately and you're going to die. Or you're going to OD the first time and you're going to die. And they tell us these horror stories for a reason, but at the same time, I'm beginning to realize how counterproductive in telling us these things are, because I found myself in the woods with tons of people doing drugs, and I had told myself so many times growing up, and even as an adult, oh, I'm never gonna do that. Oh, I'm never gonna do that. Oh, I'm never gonna do that. Because I had been told, like, horror stories so many times. And then, you do weed, and, well, even weed for, like, and it's not a gateway drug. I'm not saying it's a gateway drug. I'm saying it can be a door. Okay? Because for me, I mean, I did weed for years. I guess I smoked it for years and never had any desire to try or do anything else. I was content, with it. I was like, no, I'll never do that. Never do that. Never do that. Nah, I'll never try coke. Nah, I'll never try LSD. Nah, I'll never do any of that shit. But then you hear stories about how cool or how fun, or this one time that we did da 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 da. You hear your friends talking about it, like, oh, one time we were tripping sack on shrooms and it was so funny, and he did this thing, and then he did that thing, and it's like, damn, that sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe it's not so bad. And so you try it, and it is fun, and it's not so bad. And then down the rabbit hole you go. And then it only becomes like an actual problem. And see, it never became a problem for me. But that doesn't mean it's going to become a problem for everybody. It's the risk that it could become a problem for you, which is the problem that people don't understand. And because they think it's so easy, because like I was, I was never told about how fun it would be. I was always told how dangerous and scary it was. So I'm going into this situation with new eyes thinking, oh, it's not bad. As soon as I realize it's not bad, then I get sucked in. And then I forget all about how all those horror stories, and I start to question them, and I think, oh, maybe they're bullshit. We know they're not. Until it's too late, and then we're in that mess, and we're in that nightmare, and we're like, oh, it isn't entirely bullshit. And it's like, no, drugs can be very fun. That's part of the reason why they're a problem, is because they're fun. And because they can be too fun sometimes. And then they're fun until they're not fun. And that was a very hard life lesson for me to learn. And then, like, an even harder notion to come to terms with and accept was, he's probably going to be an addict forever. I'm not going to put it past him to be like, yeah, I can get clean, I can change, I can turn it around. If he can, great. More power to him. And I wish him nothing but the best and happiness, and that he doesn't kill himself. But watching this play, I was forced to face the very alarming possibility. One day he might end up dead. And it might be when he's still very young. And whether I'm with him or not, whether I'm a friend to him or not, whether I'm a part of his life or not, it's gonna hurt. And I thought, like, pulling away, and I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do, okay? I thought, like, pulling away and not being with him and not seeing him would make it easier. But truthfully, it just makes it worse. And it's sad because I know I have, like, I'm cool with being friends to some degree, or at least I kind of was. And now I don't know, because... But then I also think, like, well, no, because that's not the proper way to deal with or handle this problem. I can't just ignore him or shelf it or be distant. And it's sad, too, that I'm saying this, because, like, I have friends who were far worse addicts, who I do still talk to. I was never romantically involved with them, so I guess that makes it easier to some degree. But they've been with people. And they hurt the people that they loved, unintentionally. Because it's just an illness. It's the drug that's taken over them. They're no longer themselves at that point. For people who will also remain nameless. But she knows. Like, once I say it, she'll know exactly who I'm talking about, and I'm talking about her. They go through these romantic relationships, and then people cut them off, or friends cut them off, and they're gonna die alone. And that's sad. And it comes from these stigmas and these judgments, and not fully understanding what's going on with them. And yeah, I'm not saying you should keep drug addicts in your life. I'm just saying you need to be a cold stranger either. I mean, you can see them, you can try to be a support system for them, which is better. I mean, it'll probably get them faster to sobriety if you do that. But on the flip side, there's this risk of getting hurt. And it's a heavy burden to bear, because you sit there thinking, like, I'm a fucking coward because I'm afraid of what this is going to do to him. I don't want to see him at all because it would hurt me too much. Never daring to consider how much this is hurting him. Like, one of my girlfriends, like, she had a girlfriend, and I guess she did some stupid things with drugs, and that caused them to break up. And she now this girl don't even ever want to talk to her, it seems like. And I mean, I know from personal experience, it's not that she doesn't care, it's not that she doesn't love you, it's just too painful. It's too painful. Like, nobody wants to watch you destroy yourself. I mean, I don't. That's why sometimes I do get irritated with you, and I do have to, like, just shut you out for a short period of time. But I always go back to you because you're just a friend. It's not like I'm in love with you, so it's not so unbearable. But it's still unbearable at times. And I pray for you guys, you know. I just want you guys to do better. Like, I don't hate you. I'm not demonizing you. I'm not trying to ignore you because I'm mad at you. I'm mad at the choices you made, and I'm mad at what they're doing to you. And I'm hurt because you're hurting, and I don't understand it, and I can't help you, and I want to help you. But I know I can't help you unless you want help. And that's not always easy. And, like, people think they have these, like, stupid notions in their head about addicts. Oh, they're all liars. They say, you know, they're gonna change, 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 and then they never do. Okay, well, yeah, that's true. That doesn't make them a liar. Okay? You have to understand that their addiction is stronger than their genuine feelings of wanting to stop. So, an addict can be telling you to your face very genuinely, yeah, I want to stop. Yeah, I want to get help. Please help me. And they will even take the help sometimes, but then they'll slip up, or they'll fuck up again, or they'll relapse. It's because the drug is stronger than their heart. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I thought he just didn't love me on the same level, or I thought he didn't love me at all. Sometimes. It's not that he didn't love me. He genuinely loved me. I could feel it, and he could feel it. And he felt very genuine and honest when saying all those things, and that doesn't change the fact that he was genuine and honest because he's an addict. Okay? That makes it even worse. Because he could be genuinely feeling all those things and love the drug more. And just not realize what he's doing to the people he cares about and the people he loves. And this is true for anybody in addiction, you know, in any kind of addiction. I mean, hard drug use is harder to stop, obviously. We'll be fair there. But I don't know when all these societal issues, no matter what they may be, differences, disagreements, differing in worldview, differing in politics, differing on drugs or sex. When did it become right to demonize somebody as opposed to helping them if you know that for a fact what they're doing is leading them to the path of hell? Like, if something is leading your friend or your loved one down a path of hell, why would you sit there and rub their nose in it and say you're such a fucking awful sinner who's gonna burn in hell? Does that really help them? Or you screaming at them when they're not even making coherent sense? Like, how is yelling at a crazy person, an addict, or a schizophrenic helpful? They don't even know what's going on. They're not, because right then they're not in their clear state of mind. So they could be babbling idiots to the rest of the world, and in their head they're a completely coherent genius, you know? So, but he was a genius. He was coherent. He was responsible. He was respectable. Everybody fucking loved him in the beginning. All wanted to know him, know more about him, shake his hand. My own Uncle Jimmy, who is the most nitpicky, skeptical, critical man I know, who's never liked a single one of my boyfriends, liked him in the beginning. Until, he let us all down and disappointed us and destroyed his life with drugs. But as much as you want to say, yeah, they made that choice, it's not entirely their fault why they made that choice. I mean, yeah, I made the same choices. They didn't fuck me up. Because I knew when to stop. Because I knew when things were going too far. And I didn't want to go any farther down that rabbit hole because I knew it'd be impossible to dig myself out. And there are some people who can dig themselves out. I know people who were doing all sorts of crazy shit, and now they've been sober for 5 or 10 years or more. So, I mean, you really can't say once an addict, always an addict, because that's not true for everyone. And you really can't put all the blame on them. And yes, give blame where blame is due. Give credit where credit is due. Yes, they tried it, knowing that they've been told multiple times this shit is fucking dangerous and it will kill you. But no one told them it would be fun. No one told them how hard it would be to stop. No one told them that you might go through life and experience traumas so horrible that you'll want to resort to something like that to feel good, to feel happy, to have fun. And that's all life is, right? Just one big escape after another from the traumas that we all endure to find that fun to keep us going, to keep us wanting to live. Okay? So basically, drugs are just a compromise between suicide and life. You don't really want to outrightly kill yourself, but you don't really want to live either. And that's why people choose them. And living life without these things is very hard. So I don't expect you to be perfect anymore. I have no illusions about it. And I have no illusions about love anymore. I have no illusions about sex anymore. God for fucking bed. But, I do what I can. I try to stay out of that stuff from now on. And just do the right thing. And just help people as best I can. If they want my help. If they don't, they'll find it somewhere else when they're ready. All I can do is do my best to be a better person each day, one day at a time. And I guess in a lot of ways, like, you could say I'm a survivor too. Even though I'm not an addict, I've gone through some shit, and I didn't become one. I've gone through Evan's shit. I've gone through many people's shit. I didn't become one. Nobody sucked me into it. But yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is, we all make mistakes. Just like I made a mistake right there in saying his name. I didn't say his last name. But, I didn't mean to say that name, so I'm sorry if you're watching this, dude. But everybody who knows us knows who you are, and people who don't know who you are, and I doubt they would even be able to know the wherewithal to figure out what your last name is. So, I actually have a lot of Evans on my friend list, surprisingly enough. I've got more than one, but he's the special one, and he knows that. And I do miss you, by the way. This play made me think about things in a whole different way. And I just sat there, like, by the end, I'm like, I want to call him so bad and cry. But, it was like one of those things where it's like, you're like, in those movies where they're like, I have to call my mom, or I have to call my dad. But this was, I have to call my drug addict ex. This was, it was really funny. Because I was like, this is such a good play. And I would definitely go see it again. And, if you're not doing anything next weekend, and if it's still going up, I think it should still be going on. I would hope so, anyway. I think it just opened. If you're not doing anything, I'd like you to come see it, because I think you would actually really like this play. It's very funny, it's very good, and it's like about 60s rock stars and drugs and funny things, and also very meaningful shit too. But I mean, I think all of you guys should come see this play, because it's just really good. It's not 100% historically accurate, but they touch on a lot of things that are, I feel like. So that is that. So now that I've talked about those things, and I'm glad I got a lot of that off my chest, because, I never know, you never know who's going through what out there in the interwebs, and I like to just talk about my own personal experiences, because I feel like, hey, they might help somebody going through whatever it is they're going through, and I've never been that person that's been one to judge. And part of that makes me a bit naive because I don't know when to put my foot down, and then another part of that makes me a very good person, and it can be a very positive strength at times. It's my greatest weakness and strength is that I'm very accepting and loving and not judgmental of anyone. You could be a fucking mass murderer, and I'd be like, well, they had it coming. You know, I was sitting there justifying your behavior just for the simple fact that I love you. And that's part of the reason that made this relationship so toxic. I mean, you have an addict on the one hand and a completely passive individual on the other. Not gonna end well. But, you know, I'm laughing about it now because I know we could still be friends at some point. It's just painful right now, and I've been busy anyway, and I know you've been busy with work too. At least I'm hoping that's what you've been doing. I'm worried about you, and there are times where I stay up late at night and I'm crying, and I'm like, where is he? Is he ODing? Is he dying somewhere? Is he in jail? Please God, no. Please God. It's because I've always cared about him. And I always will. Like, a part of me is always gonna love him, and when and if he goes because of it, it's gonna be heartbreaking. Like I said, whether I'm a part of his life or not, it's gonna be heartbreaking. And I just have to accept that as a consequence of both our actions. So, I mean, what can you do? It is what it is, and it is in the past. And it's time to move on and heal. But before we do, I'd like to cover one song. Well, it's not a cover really. It's more of a rendition. So, I'm gonna do this rendition. And then, I'll go back and do other songs and things and fun stuff. So yeah, so if you guys want to see Mama Moon, check out Ensemble Theater, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel too. So you can see them at Ensemble Cleveland Theater, so in Cleveland Heights. So please go see them. Please, please, please. Tickets for adults are only $18, which isn't bad. So, you know, there's that too. It's a good theater for a good price. Can't go wrong. Alright. So this is my rendition of Coma Wait. And it's something that, it's always been a song that kind of resonates with me. So, let's get to it. There's something in cold and blank in my smile. She's standing on an overpass in a miracle mile, 'cause he was from a perfect world, a world that threw me away today, 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 to run away. A pill to make you numb, a pill to make you dumb, a pill to make you anybody else. But all the drugs in this world won't save him from himself. Her mouth was an empty cut, and she was waiting to flow, just bleeding like a Polaroid that lost all my dolls. 'Cause you were perfect world, a world that blew me away today, 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 to run away. A pill to make you numb, a pill to make you dumb, a pill to make you anybody else. But all the drugs in this world won't save me from myself. Pill to make you numb, a pill to make you dumb, a pill to make you anybody else. But all the drugs in this world won't save us from ourselves. From a perfect world, a world that prescribed me away today. Pill to make you numb, a pill to make him dumb, a pill to make me anybody else. But all the drugs in this world won't prescribe us to save ourselves. A pill to make you numb, a pill to make you dumb, a pill to make us anybody else. But all the drugs in this world won't save us from ourselves. So that was that one. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back with more renditions and more covers. As you can tell, like, I'm changing the lyrics up, but they still make sense. In fact, they might make even more sense now. But, this is my personal perspective, I guess you could say, on how I feel and how the song hits me. Like, the song is basically about all these complicated matters that I was talking about. Like, sometimes it's Big Pharma's fault, and sometimes it's the stupid war on drug people's fault for just telling us horror stories straight up and not telling us anything important. Like, we forget that it's so easy to get sucked into it. Because it's still fun. Like, it doesn't stop being fun just because the horror stories are there. Like, until you try it, you really don't know, like, how it's gonna affect you. And you shouldn't take the risk because you're not gonna know how it's gonna affect you. Like, this should be common sense at this point, but for whatever reason, it's just not. And I'm trying to fix that. Trying to make people more aware. So if you're like me and you want to make people more aware, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others. Natty out.